Hello everyone, welcome back to DIY Beauty on Purpose. Today I am working on this beautiful desk that I got off of Marketplace. It was only $25 and it was in perfect condition. It just needed a little refresh, so that's what I'm planning on doing. The drawers and everything were in great working condition. The chair just needed upholstered, and of course I'm going to give it a fresh coat of paint, but I'm excited to get working on it. All right, so first things first, I have to remove the seat portion of the chair, which was not hard. I just unscrewed 4 screws from the bottom of the chair and removed it. I got my little helper there. All right, so as always, I like to give the furniture a good scrub. So I'm using my crud cutter and a wet rag. Now, after I scrub everything and make sure that it's dirt free, I make sure that I go back a couple times with a clean wet rag to make sure that not only the debris and the dirt is off of it, but also any of the formula of the detergent. All right, so I'm going to remove the hardware, and I'm actually not going to do anything with them but just clean them up. I thought they had a beautiful, kind of like a white distressed look with some golden showing, and I just wanted to leave that original. I'm doing the same thing to the actual desk. I'm going to scrub everything very well. Surprisingly, it was actually a little bit more dirtier than it looked like, especially in some areas, but nothing that wouldn't come off. All right, so I'm so excited because today I get to work with Jolie Paint. Jolie Paint sent me these supplies. They sent me a quart. Is that a quart? Yes, of paint. The color card. They have a wonderful variety of colors. I can't wait to keep working on them. And also a guide of how to use the supplies, different techniques. They also have a lot in their social media, so by all means, I'm gonna have everything linked down below, so visit it if you like. All right, so everything needs to be shaken, well, at least the paint needs to be shaken for at least 30 seconds very vigorously. And then they also included a stirring stick, so that's what I'll be doing. And I'll be stirring it really well, specifically scrubbing or like really reaching down to the bottom to make sure all the pigments get nice and stirred within the entire paint. They also sent me an awesome brush. Now, I normally paint with my round chalk paint brush, but of course they sent me this one, so I wanted to try it. And the color they sent me was the Gesso White. Boy, was that beautiful. I loved it. You know that I love my whites. Now, this is kind of like an off-white. You know what it reminded me of? When vanilla ice cream melts. You know how it's white, but it's not really white. That's what it reminded me of, and it looked delicious. All right, so I'm giving everything its first coat. This paint is awesome. It glides on so smoothly. It's like velvety smooth, and it has great coverage. Now, I know that the desk is already on the lighter tone, but I can just tell with looking at it closely that it just has really, really good coverage. I'm going to give everything 2 coats. Now, I often sometimes remove the drawers and sometimes I don't. I know some of you have asked me, and it just depends. It depends how much room I have. I could have taken these drawers off and I could have just laid them, but I just didn't have a lot of room. So I'm just going to keep them on, pull them out to paint, and then as they dry, push them back in, and it worked out just fine. So whatever works for you, if taking them out makes more sense for you, then absolutely do that. But for me, this worked fine with this particular desk. I also made sure to paint the bottom of the top. So sometimes I forget, honestly, and this time I really wanted to make sure that I did paint that bottom part of the top. And here's a more of a natural time, I guess, not sped up, so that you can see the paint, how it glides, and the beautiful coverage, and how just beautifully it glides on the desk. I'm going to do the same thing on the top. Now, I was going to absolutely sand the top. It was a little bit more shiny than the rest of the desk. But as I was reading the instructions, I just felt like it would have been just fine, because anyways, I just felt like it would have been fine, and it really was fine. So again, I added 2 coats on the top as well. And on the top, I made sure that I kept my strokes going side to side and as smooth as possible. Once I had the whole thing covered with both the first coat and the second coat, I then just swiped the brush side to side with long strides, and barely even pushing on the brush to avoid brush marks. Even though this brush is actually awesome and it barely leaves brush marks, but you still will see some naturally. So I try to, as you can see here, just very softly go back and forth to avoid seeing those brush marks. And of course, I had to paint chairs, or the chair. I do not like painting chairs. It is one of my least favorite things to do. Now, of course, this was only one chair, which is fine. I survived and it was fine, but it's just not my favorite thing to do. But I'm doing it, and I also gave it 2 coats. Alright, so now I am going to get the fabric for the chair. I've had this fabric for a while. I actually got it a while ago, and I've used it for several projects, normally for upholstering, but I have used it for some decor as well. And I'm just going to cut a piece from it and just upholster it. I'm not doing anything major to it, just basically doing a basic upholstering. I'm not an expert in upholstering, but I have seen several videos, and I have done several, and they've worked pretty well. So I'm using my electric stapler. If you do not have an electric stapler, it's fine. You can use a manual one. Just make sure it's a heavier duty one than just like a regular office stapler that you would use, because you want to make sure that as people sit on the chair, it's not going to come off or remove. So I'm starting on opposite ends. So I do one end and then I do the opposite end to make sure that the fabric is nicely stretched. And then I am All right, guys, so I saw this other dresser. Well, it was a dresser, not a desk, but I saw this dresser online. I think it was in one of the groups, Facebook groups that I belong to. And this one girl had added this detail on the side of the drawers, and I absolutely loved it. And I said, I got to try that. So I thought, what a perfect opportunity to do it on this desk. Now I chose yellow because the chair, the new fabric has some bright yellow popping through, so I thought it would be cute to have that showing. Now, of course, it's not going to be seen when the drawers are closed, but it's a cute little fun detail when the drawers are open. So I thought it looked really cute. All right, so now on to waxing. Now, if you have seen my videos and you follow me, you know that I normally do not seal my pieces with waxes. I seal them with polyurethane, and that has been my preferred way of sealing furniture. But, you know, Jolie sent me this wax, so I thought, hey, I'm going to try it, and I have seen so many other people that paint furniture use it. So the instructions say to use, you can use a rag, or you can use a soft bristle brush. So I am using this brush that I have had for a while, and the handle actually came off of it because it's a very old brush in the middle of my waxing. But so basically I am just, you know, taking some wax on the brush, brushing it on the piece, and then using an old piece of a t-shirt. They recommend you use anything that's lint free and lighter in color, because some darker color t-shirts or that can leave some color. So you can see there the difference between being non-waxed and then waxed here closer to the screen. I wanted to show you that view because when you're looking at it from the front, you really can't see it. When you look at it from an angle, you really can see the difference when it's waxed and non-waxed. So what was I saying? Oh, so yeah, so make sure that if you are waxing and when you're buffing it, that you use something that is lint-free and lighter in color. So I had this old t-shirt, so I grabbed a piece off of it. So I'm going to do this for the chair, and I'm going to do this on the desk as well. Now, the instructions recommend that if it's going to be on an area where it's going to have high usage, like the top of the desk or the drawers, to put a couple coats. Otherwise, one is sufficient. It will dry within an hour or two, but it will be curing for at least 2 weeks. So I want to make sure that I'm going to be selling this desk. So I'll make sure that if it sells before the 2 weeks, that the person who buys it knows and understand that it's still going to be curing. So not to give it too heavy of a use within that period. So basically, I'm going to take this section by section. So I started with the drawers, and then I move on to one side and then another side, and so on and so forth, because otherwise it'll be a little hard to kind of see where I'm at. But basically that's it. I'll show you here, continue to show you how it keeps looking as I wax. So I'm again showing you what it looks like from an angle, so you really can see that wax going on. And then again, I remind you that I did this twice. I don't show you it on the video, but after I applied the first one, I let it dry for a little bit, and then I applied a second coat, and I did the same exact thing. Alright, so now that I am all done, the wax has been drying for a couple of hours now. It is very dry to the touch. So I'm going to add the chair, what is this called? The top of the chair? Yeah. I'm just using the same screws and tightening it, and then I'll be almost done. Just got to put the hardware back on, and then I'll be all done. I want to take this time, guys, to invite you to subscribe to my channel if you have enjoyed this video and you want to continue to see my videos. I post every single week, and I'd love for you to be part of our family. All right, so there is the final reveal. Oh my gosh, this desk is so stinking cute. I love it. I love how simple it is, but yet, you know, that pop of yellow there on the chair and those handles. Oh boy, beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. All right, guys, so this is it for today. Again, I ask if you have not subscribed to consider doing so underneath this video. Check out the link down below in regards to Jolie Paint. Check them out, and there's going to be a oh my gosh, a code for you to use for a percentage off for any purchases that you would like to make. And I hope you have a blessed day, guys. See you later.